The results of that Chevron case presage the current weaponization of the Department of Justice against protesters and activist groups by the Trump administration. Can you give the audience a brief overview of what happened in your case and how that served as a proverbial canary in the coal mine for the weaponization of the Department of Justice that we're currently seeing?
Yeah, so, I am somewhat of a canary in a coal mine in terms of what's going on now in the United States with the attacks on activism and the right to protest and free speech. Several years ago, I went down to Ecuador and I began to represent Amazon indigenous and farmer communities who had a major pollution problem caused by Texaco, now Chevron. Chevron bought Texaco. I discovered when I went down there along with a team of lawyers is that Texaco from like the mid 1960s to the early 1990s designed a system of oil extraction that deliberately dumped billions of gallons of toxic oil waste into rivers and streams relied on by the local community, which created a massive cancer epidemic and all sorts of health and environmental problems.
Hmm.
And we organized a lawsuit on behalf of several of the communities against Texaco. Eventually, Chevron bought Texaco. The case was originally filed in the United States. They wanted it moved to Ecuador over our objections. They won that battle. We went down to Ecuador and litigated the case in the jurisdiction where they wanted it. And we litigated for years, 8 years, presented mountains of evidence, scientific evidence, testimonial evidence, and ended up with a roughly a $10 billion pollution judgment against Chevron that the company has refused to pay. And instead of paying the judgment, they sued me personally as one of the main lawyers. I live here in New York. They sued me in a New York court, claiming that the whole case was a fraud.